Welcome to Incredible, where we discover the weird and wonderful in this world. Humanity's never-ending quest to build bigger and better structures has led to some awesome architecture, but not every structure has stood the test of time or done so without incurring significant costs to repair it. Join us now as Incredible looks at 10 of the most costly building structure errors ever recorded. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we upload a video. Number 1. Galloping Gertie. In 1940, the state of Washington unveiled the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, the then third largest suspension bridge in the world. The bridge was considered to be cutting edge and nearly cost $6 million, roughly $196 million when adjusted for inflation today. Well worth the funds as it connected Tacoma and the Kitsap Peninsula. The bridge was built in less than 2 years, but even during construction, there were concerns as workers nicknamed the bridge Galloping Gertie due to its tendency to move during even low levels of wind. Nonetheless, it was believed that the bridge would function as designed regardless of how windy things got. In a classic case of here today, gone tomorrow, the bridge opened on 1st July 1940 and 4 months later, it was history as it collapsed. The bridge's collapse was captured on film, and astonishingly, the only fatality was a motorist dog who was trapped on the bridge and would not leave the bridge. While scientists are still debating the exact structural cause for the Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapse, this analysis led to a better understanding of many factors at play day in and day out. Number 2. The marble mess. As we've already seen, skyscrapers and gravity can be a troublesome combination when architects don't scrutinize the building's materials. Chicago's Annon Center was built in 1970 with beautiful Italian Carrara marble adorning its exterior, but as beautiful as this adornment was, it was also thin and soon began falling off the building and crashing below. Consequently, the Annon Center's exterior was replaced with granite, which added $80 million to the project's cost. Number 3. The Plywood Palace. The John Hancock Tower, now known as 200 Clarendon Street and nicknamed the Hancock, is now known for both a beautiful building and a study in structural flaws. Construction on the 62-floor-story building began in 1968 and was scheduled for completion in 1971. Nonetheless, engineering flaws led to one problem after another, the best known being the blue reflective glass installed that began falling from the building. This necessitated the replacement of all 10,344 window panes in the building, with costs believed to have jumped from $75 million to $175 million. During the replacement process, construction workers installed plywood to cover the missing panes, leading to the building's nickname, the Plywood Palace. Number 4. The Death Ray Hotel. Have you ever wondered if things like the Death Star will ever be feasible? You may be surprised to learn that a working prototype has already been finished, albeit not by design. In 2009, the Blackstone Group opened its Vardra Hotel and Spa on the Las Vegas Strip, an impressive 57-story entertainment complex with a floor that turned it into what staff jokingly called a death ray. According to a report from NBC News, the phenomenon occurs when intense heat is created by the curved glass surface of the hotel, which acts as a parabolic dish. The glass bounces the rays from the sun and concentrates the light in 10 by 15 hot zone on a portion of the pool deck. Absher said that the hotel's designers foresaw the issue and they thought they had solved the problem by installing a high-tech film on the hotel's glass windows to reduce the effect. While the death ray, or solar convergence as the hotel spokes prefers, only affects a particular area of the hotel's pool, and for only a limited time, it creates high temperatures, so much so that guests have reported singed hair and similar phenomenon. For now, the hotel has installed large protective umbrellas and the hotel's glass exterior is now covered in non-reflective film. Number 5. The Skyscraper. Perhaps inspired by Vegas's legendary gaming tables, Raphael Viñoly, the same man who designed the Vardra, doubled down when he designed London's commercial skyscraper on 20 Fenchurch Street. The building is better known as the walkie-talkie for its resemblance to the radio devices, but its real claim to fame is its double whammy of producing a solar death ray and a wind tunnel. Much like the Vardra, the walkie-talkie acts as a concave mirror when the sun shines directly on the building, resulting in the reflected sunlight beaming enough heat onto the sidewalk that has reportedly damaged cars and the pedestrians could fry an egg on the sidewalk. In addition to its solar death ray, which earned the building the nickname the Skyscraper and the Walkie Scorcher, it's also known for creating a powerful wind tunnel. Someone may want to check Viñoly's activities and make sure he's not in the employ of any Bond villains right now. Number 6. The Collapsing Colosseum. Some of our buildings are costly due to funds, while others are costly in terms of lives cost. In the case of this Roman stadium, a hasty build and cheap materials led to an out-and-out disaster. In 27 AD, Roman citizen Attilius ordered the construction of a 50,000-seat Colosseum. While it was a big endeavor, it was also a sign of the times, as entertaining one's fellow Romans was seen as a sign of conspicuous consumption that showed just how much wealth an individual had. Attilius undoubtedly believed that putting on spectacular games in a large venue would do wonders for his reputation, but things didn't turn out the way he wanted it to. In 27 AD, the Colosseum was completed and he held a gladiator show in the new capacity arena. However, historians believe that he rushed to get the job done quickly and cheaply, as it led to a shoddy job. The Colosseum was built on an unstable foundation and collapsed during the show, killing a reported 20,000 members of the crowd and severely injuring many others. Number 7. The Sydney Opera House Horror. Australia's famous Sydney Opera House is a landmark you're sure to come across in any film or TV show highlighting Sydney Harbour. However, despite its beautiful appearance, the project was an unmitigated disaster that ended up costing millions to transform into a functioning music venue. Originally designed to be built in 4 years at the cost of $7 million in Australian funds, it took 14 years and cost $14 million to finish. However, the fun was just beginning as musicians discovered the acoustics were botched due to the design flaws. The building was eventually salvaged, but not until an additional $300 million had to be dropped to fix things. Number 8. Kansas City Hyatt Regency Hotel. Kansas City is no stranger to architectural nightmares. In 1979, the city's Kemper Arena suffered a calamity when its roof collapsed after a heavy rainstorm, the result of a poor design. While the Kemper Arena collapse was embarrassing, it wasn't deadly like one that occurred at Kansas City's Hyatt Regency Hotel in 1981. On 17th July, 1,600 people were gathered at the hotel's atrium for a dance when the hotel's 4th-level walkway collapsed onto the 2nd-floor walkway. The horrific chain of events saw both walkways crash onto the hotel lobby's floors, resulting in 114 deaths and 216 injuries. Severe design flaws were blamed, and over time, 300 lawsuits were filed, resulting in awards of over $140 million. That's $470 million when adjusted for inflation. Number 9. The Hotel of Doom. Sometimes bigger isn't better, especially when you can't finish what you started. In 1987, the government of North Korea decided to build a 105-story hotel to change the nation's perception as a third world backwater. Unfortunately, the $230 million project has seen one delay after another, with its projected completion date of 1992 passing by and work being halted. The Ryong Hotel has become an embarrassment and a costly one, as it's yet to be completed. While construction resumed in 2008, by 2013 the hotel was still incomplete. According to a recent report, the North Korean government has installed an LED display atop the building to display government propaganda. Considering how much money has been wasted on this white elephant, perhaps it's not the best place to project propaganda. And number 10, the world's largest ghost mall. Now, unlike most of our other designs, this one's biggest flaw wasn't in its structure, but in its location. The mall, a sensational 7 million square feet, was over 2 times the size of the Mall of America, with enough space for more than 2,300 stores. The estimates of 100,000 guests a day became a pipe dream when the mall opened in 2005. The mall's planners ignored 2 major factors: the lack of consumers with enough money to buy goods at the mall and the mall's distance from a major highway. The closest city comprised of low-wage factory workers who lacked a disposable income to shop, and those who wanted to shop there found it to be a long journey. The mall featured a number of attractions, including the mall's indoor roller coaster and the world's first Teletubbies theme park, but these couldn't persuade people to come. Despite efforts to build interest in the mall, it's still considered the world's biggest ghost mall. So you've heard the saying, poor planning on your part doesn't necessitate an emergency on my part, but as these examples show, poor planning by architects can lead to costly and sometimes deadly problems. What do you think of these structural errors? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more incredible content.